Okay, Zlatan Ibrahimovic into the door, Mourinho's in charge, Henrik Mkhitaryan by all accounts done and dusted. Are Man United winning the transfer window so far, Robbie?
Yes.
Yeah?
I mean, those are a couple of very good signings. You know, the Ibrahimovic one, I'm still a bit mixed on. In the one aspect, it's a fantastic signing because he's a goal scorer and he's that big figure, etc. But then I also look on it and think, United don't really need a striker. I don't think, to me, it's a vanity signing really because, they've got Rooney, they've got Rashford, who, I don't know now, does that hold Rashford back? Because, he was doing so well. You bring in Ibrahimovic, they've got Martial. I don't think they needed to buy Ibrahimovic. So that's a vanity one, but the Mkhitaryan one is a good signing. He's a good player.
He's a terrific player.
They've also signed, I can't remember his name, but they signed a defender as well. So at the moment, they're going out there and they're making a statement. That we've seen that before with United over the past couple of seasons, where with Falcao, I thought to myself, wow, and that didn't work out. Mata, again, I thought, wow, that didn't work out. So they haven't, a lot of their signings in recent times, apart from maybe the Martial one, haven't worked out. So on paper, Di Maria as well, yeah. So on paper, it all looks great at the moment, but it's how they're going to do.
What do you reckon, Peter? Is he a Mourinho player?
Yeah, he loves Mourinho, doesn't he?
I know he loves him.
Mourinho loves him.
And I know they've obviously got the Inter Milan, the connection and what have you. But there's a difference between the style of football you can play to be effective in Serie A and the style of football you need to play to be effective in the Premier League. He's 34 years old. Has he got the legs?
I think some people get the wrong impression about what Zlatan is and isn't. I think a lot of people think he is a vanity sign, and I think Man United do need one. But I think what he offers a lot more than what people think. I think when he was at Barcelona, he was an all-round striker, but he didn't fit in because they obviously like the small striker and sort of moving from wing to wing. And I think he can be a real focal point. I think he can be a target man when you want him to be. I think he's got everything. I think it'll be, as Robbie's saying, difficult to understand where he fits in. I'm not sure where that's going to leave Wayne Rooney, possibly back at us.
Plus, maybe, Zlatan didn't do that great in the Euros.
He didn't, but he is one of those players.
So he looks an aging player to me in the Euros.
He is one of those players, though, that needs good players around him. And I think he needs players around to create a couple of yards for him. Whereas when he was playing for Sweden, it was every time he had the ball, bang, someone was on him straight away. I think you'll find that will be the difference. He always does. He will always have to play. But this is probably going to be his last big club, isn't it? Before he.
I say vanity signing. At the end of the day, I wouldn't have minded him at Arsenal. I'll have to be honest.
You must be giggling your tits off for 4-4-2
I love
perspective.
It. Amazing. Man United, you're thinking, you're losing Van Gaal with his stupid comments. In comes Mourinho, and he brings in Ibrahim. Made my day. I was like, yes, happy days. But yeah, he'll do a job there, and I think, you can discount Rooney from it. For me, I just can't imagine him, Mourinho, going in and using him as a striker now. The one to me that it would be a shame if Rashford. I'm a huge fan of Rashford. I know it's a short time and it could be high, but I think he could be a huge player.
But if he plays a 4-3-3 like he did when he first came to Chelsea, that might work perfectly.
With
Martial on one side, Rashford on the other.
He can take a man. He can take a man on.
What's going to happen to Rooney? That's what I want to know. What's going to?
I think he'll end up. I've said this for 12 months. I think he'll end up back at us.
Don't you think he'll have one more season though with Mourinho trying to sign him?
I think he might, and I'll tell you why. And this might sound a weird point. But he's got his testimonial a week before the season, and they actually play us at Old Trafford, and that would be a weird sort of circumstance. Wouldn't imagine at the end of the game going, "Thanks, I'm signing for them," or coming out at half time.
Walks into the other changes at the end.
That might actually be the sticking point. Why he would, but
I with the Rooney thing in midfield. Now I had a big argument with. We was doing a Ball Street show before the Euros, and I said, for me, Rooney is not a midfield player.
I can't imagine he's a Mourinho midfield.
And you saw in the Euros, what did he create? Nothing. Yeah, he sprays it diagonal, but apart from that, he doesn't create anything. And for me, Mourinho, I don't. And now that with the Mkhitaryan signing as well, I don't know. I don't see how. I think he will try and put.
He's not going to ship him out.
Yeah, he's a sensible guy. Mourinho's going to sort of put him in there somewhere, but I'm still not convinced with Rooney in the midfield.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Doesn't he
Rooney
have
to me needs to be playing up top.
Doesn't Mourinho have like a template as well of size as well? That's one of the things with Mata. It's like straight away. That was the thing when he came to Chelsea. It was like he's not big enough.
So you look at Mourinho going in now. If you're looking at your strikers now, Rooney, you're not going to give him a chance up front. Rashford, Martial, Zlatan.
Plus, they're not in Europe, are they?
Europa League.
Oh, Europa League, yeah.
And that's the thing for me, going back to your point about the 4-3-3 though, and if they do go with that, look what happened to Nicolas Anelka at Chelsea. The guys, just, whenever he got the opportunity to play centre forward, he's just scored goals, loads of goals for them. Like, went back to being what he was, but he was used out of position. He was played on the right. And again, look, I've said this on the show all the time. When I say I fear for Martial, I don't give a shit about Anthony Martial. But in terms of his development as a football player, he's got terrific talent. And if he ends up playing right wing for Man United when he was playing on the wing last season, and he needs to be utilised as Mourinho, the right guy to get the best out of the pieces that he's got.
Well, let me just throw another name at you. Samuel Eto'o at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
He was a tremendous centre forward at Barcelona. He comes into that system and suddenly he's finding himself on the wing. And you have to just knuckle down under Mourinho. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Or you're out the team. He's a proper manager in that respect. And Eto'o ended up loving it because he just ended up getting another Champions League.
Yeah, it's true. Any other teams do you think are up there for on the close to Man United? Man City must be a shout. Gundogan, Nolito.
I
think Nolito. I told Roberto Martinez to his face to sign Nolito 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And the dickhead didn't listen to me. Look what happened to him.
But he's Nolito's 29. Gundogan's going to have to adopt. He's a good sign.
He's not going to be playing for a while, though, is he? He's
out
till January.
That's the thing with Gundogan. He's got a bad injury record. That's the only thing I'd say. But then, City, they've got so many players that they can afford to wait on him to get in shape.
Still, at this point, I don't think there's anyone really close to Man United's signings. But then, there's so much room left for the window. It's all going to pretty much kick off from now, isn't it?
Could have been Arsenal, couldn't it? If you just not let Vardy slip through your fingers.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is about the Vardy thing is that we did a poll the other day on Arsenal Fan TV, even before we signed him, or we were about, when it all came out.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was overwhelmingly they didn't really want him, fans. They didn't really want Vardy. So
what they really want is some obscure player who's
I think Arsenal fans would like somebody like a Higuain or somebody like that.
Vardy's no Franny Jeffers. I mean,
he's not. No, me personally.
Well, he literally is a fox in the box.
Yeah,
I think Vardy's decent, but most Arsenal fans, I have to say, they weren't disappointed that fell through. They were not,
That's years of conditioning, though, Rob. That's what that's.
Well, no. We all want a top striker.
We all want Benzema.
Having said that, we ain't got our striker at the moment. Our players at the moment are running the Euros, mate.
Yeah.
Mesut Ozil,
didn't know
Giroud
Payet played for the Arsenal.
Giroud.
Wasn't sure Joe Allen played for
goals,
Arsenal.
2 goals. Aaron Ramsey.
Gareth Bale.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey.
Robson.
Tell you what, though.
Aaron Ramsey.
Tell you what, though, about Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey is the player Arsenal fans think Jack Wilshere is.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. Jack Wilshere was half as good as Aaron Ramsey.
But
Aaron different type of players. One's good and one's massively overrated.
I think one's fit. And the other one's not completely fit. I think
Although Ramsey does remind me.
If you see a fully fit Jack Wilshere, he's a top player
That's
as well.
the problem, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But
The
as I said,
spotted, fully fit.
yeah.
Aaron Ramsey.
Our players doing all right in Euros. You know what I mean? Our players doing all right.
But they had much of a break for much of last season. So Aaron Ramsey reminds me of.
That's why they finished above you lot. You know what I mean?
Most people finish above us.
You had a break all year. If you had a break for a few years, actually.
You're having digs at it, Everton. No, come on. Aaron Ramsey very much reminds me of. Remember when Take That first started? Gary Barlow.
Guy's got the touch of the Barlow, the fat one that writes the songs. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on who you think is winning the transfer window so far and what the clubs like Arsenal, like Man City, etc. would have to do to get themselves into contention.
And let us know who's running the Euros.
Who is running the Euros? Is it Platini from a secret location?
I still think it's Beyonce.
It's still think it's Beyonce or Kanye. Anyway, let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel as well.